Growing up, my childhood was tuned to the twang of my dad's guitar. Each afternoon, he'd play to the grand stage of our living room, running the daily scales up and down the walls of our small house again and again, like painting a base coat. In the whirling kaleidoscope of childhood, it was a rhythm to anchor to, a constant 4/4, familiar and warm. He introduced me to the classics, Dylan, Baez, and always old Mr. Bojangles, and I'd dance, trying to click my heels just like the song said. I'd steal his picks and squirrel them away in my room, a crazy groupie worshipping him like some domestic Bon Jovi in worn-out shoes. One day, he gave me his tuning fork and let me run around the house banging it against any surface I thought needed sounding. I loved its buzz. His fingertips were always so rough, the skin toughened from decades of strumming. Touching them made me gasp, like he had mystical lizard skin, like the music made him magic, and I knew I wanted the spell to catch. As I grew older, I'd beg him to teach me how to play just like him, so patiently, he'd set me the homework of A, C, and G. Just those 3 chords, he said, again and again until the music could root in my fingers, the sound made into muscle. But I never could sit still long enough to plant it there. I'd get bored too quick. I wanted instant talent more than the chore of picking out chords each day. I thought I could just vault on stage, ready-made for soaking in praise, my teenage ego throbbing to the applause. But I soon learned it wasn't magic that had toughened my dad's hands. Before too long, I'd let too many sessions slip for calluses to ever bloom on my fingertips. I've still never learned to play. My dad was born into a blue collar. Working from the age of 15, he trained himself to rise at 5 each day to work double shifts on minimum wage, so dreams of being a full-time artist were never really in the cards. He's never graced major stages. He's never even played outside our home, but fame was never the point for him. He preferred the slow constancy of A, C, and G, of learning the basics, then building on those small victories, finding pleasure in practice. He mastered the craft, fitting art in the cracks between real-life obligations, his job, his family. He always made time to tune. And really, music wasn't some flashy distraction, but the glue holding it all together. For my family, those evening melodies were a steady beat in a discordant world. And maybe most wouldn't call my dad an artist. Sure, he's never toured or been paid to play, but he taught me never to wait for someone else to give you that name, to be creative. Last winter, my dad retired. After 50 years in the workforce, he's finally free to sleep in, breathe easy, do nothing if he pleases. But he still rises at 5 each day and starts tuning that guitar. He's taken up bluegrass lessons on Tuesdays, practices all week. I love that after 50 years twanging the tongue of the same instrument, he can still find joy in its voice, draw new sounds from its mouth. I suppose it's 'cause he knows the language so well, has slowly molded its vocabulary into his hands. I hope I too can find the patience to build the alphabet into my teeth before I try to speak too fast. Last time I was home, I told him, someday we should write something together. Not yet, though. Right now, we're both still learning.